let's just start this discussion.
Yep.
So we are live
Okay.
now.
So
Jack the PUA, good guest that we've got on this show.
yes, thank you for having me. I DM'd him on Instagram because he found me through a live stream I did
Yeah,
with Turbo BP.
Turbo BP,
We
a fellow
planned,
creator. You should follow. Make sure you subscribe. Great content
Yeah,
on that channel.
absolutely. And we set up a discussion. There might be a little bit of disagreement here, but I think
Yeah.
that we're both very like-minded people.
We're very
So that's gonna
like-minded
be
in
an
the sense
interesting.
that we both agree on what matters the most and what doesn't matter and all of that stuff. So we've already said the things that we're going to discuss are things like red and black pill philosophy, dating strategies for left behind men or just men in general, and then obviously self-improvement strategies. Well, I've already said that actually, and different methods of approaching, right, and the pros and cons. So for all of you here who want to take a step in your dating or just general self-improvement life, this is a stream for you.
Yes, definitely. So I think to start out, we're going to talk about. Do you think we should talk about red and black pills?
Yeah,
to
I think we
start
should cover the difference between the two, between red pill and black pill to begin with.
Yeah, because that might be a little bit of people might not know the specific differences between them in philosophy.
Yeah,
So, like, what would you say are the core components of the black pill philosophy?
I would say that there are a lot of differences between the two philosophies simply because I think that I would say the mainstream media likes to lump them together, but we already know what the mainstream media is like anyway. But I think the main differences are that red pill is more centered about being well-rounded, so it's obviously focusing on looks, but I think it puts more emphasis on things like muscles, whereas like the black pill is more focused on face and height. And the difference is the red pill believes that like any man can go from like a 3 to a 7 or an 8, whereas the black pill says that you can only move up by like 1 point unless you get like plastic surgery or something. And I think that's the main difference, is that the red pill believes that you can move the needle and that success is like up to you and it's like you're responsible for your actions, whereas like the black pill believes that it's not entirely your fault and that things such as location, genetic determinism, those things actually matter a lot more. But yeah, and height obviously. But what do you think?
So, I think I agree with the large majority of what you said. I think that the main tenets of the black pill would be genetic determinism, right?
Definitely.
And also an emphasis on looks. Saying that looks are, I think every black pillar will say that looks are the vast majority of what matters, if not basically all that matters. Correct?
Yeah, so they'll say things like looks are like 80, maybe even 90%. The like real hardcore ones will say it's 100%, but then like I think that most people know that it's not going to be 100%, right? But I will say that like a lot of these people emphasize looks a lot and sometimes a bit too much.
Yeah. So I'd say, and then the red pill, I'd say the red pill is focused on, so the red pill, I guess, came obviously before the black pill, and the red pill is focused on revealing the kind of less than favorable truth about dating, less than favorable truth about women and dating.
Yeah.
Would be the main part of it. And I'd say that, so like, in that sense, I would say the black pill is basically like a branch off the red pill, kind of, because both of them are kind of about exposing the harsh nature of the dating market. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So I would say that like both have things in common in the sense that it's a departure from like the traditional blue pill ideals that people grew up obviously, believing and watching and listening to. But I would say that they're both quite distinct in differences, but I would say that they do have quite a bit in common sometimes.
So I would say that the red pill, the main tenets of the red pill would be belief in female hypergamy,
Yeah,
for one, right?
absolutely.
Which is also something the black pill believes in, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But also there would be ones that, like, women will seek men that are high social status, which
Yeah.
is something the black pill doesn't necessarily believe.
Yeah, so it's like things like status and game. So those are the things that like red pill covers. Like the red pill actually has quite a big obsession with game, status and resources. And obviously muscles, like they don't stop talking about the gym. But obviously the gym is good, but still that's the point I'm trying to make, that I think that the red pill overemphasizes the things that you can control and underestimates the things you can't control. But I still would place myself in that camp.
And I would agree that I would also agree with that, and I would also place myself in the more of the red pill camp. I believe I said that I'm about 80% red pill, 20% black pill, and you said that you were around there as well.
Yeah, I would put myself around there. I
So,
was gonna invite my friend to watch it, but then he's been banned on TikTok now. The algorithm's taking him down, so it's a shame.
that's unfortunate.
I want to find a way to contact him because he's actually a hardcore black pill, and if I had him on now, I could actually
Like to talk to us, or just to watch.
No, to just comment in the thing, in the chat.
Oh yeah.
So that we could actually have someone that we can engage with. Actually, you know what? I have him on Instagram, so I'm going to try and ask him to join, so that then I can hear him talk. Because like the guy is a hardcore black pillar, and I mean like proper hardcore.
Yeah, I'm sure we all know some hardcore black pillars in this space. Okay, it says 2 people are watching. Okay.
My friend's live stream. We are discussing RP and BP, and we would like your input. Yeah, so I've just invited him over to come and watch us. But yeah, in all honesty, I think you've made a really good point in the sense that I think that both of them matter equally, but I would still put ourselves at red pill simply because I think that if you actually go outside, you will see that most people do eventually get in some kind of relationship. It's not like everybody is an incel or anything.
Yeah, that's true. I'd say, so it's sometimes hard to tell if someone is red pill or black pill, right?
Yeah,
or,
sometimes.
I'd say most people fall clearly into one camp, but there are some people where they kind of toe the line, and I think that shows that it's less of a binary and more of a sliding spectrum of beliefs, right? So
it's a spectrum, like
kind of like
yeah,
like gender.
Yeah, lots of people will say that gender is a spectrum.
Yeah, and I would have to disagree.
I disagree completely. I just don't see the logic behind it, but a lot of people will say that it is.
So, I guess, would you agree with that basic principle that kind of the red pill and the black pill are not binary categories? There's some overlap in there?
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I would say that they are not binary, so some people might be like 50%, 60%, 70%, and so on.
I'd say, so the best way, I think, to tell if someone is red or black pill is perhaps to ask them how much looks matter, you know? So if they're saying that looks are about around, I'd say like 70% or less, then I'd say they're pretty red pill. But if it's above 70%, then they'd maybe black pill. Like maybe that's a good rule of thumb to kind of think about these two.
Yeah, like I said, there's no binaries. I would just say that the majority of people fall somewhere in between the two.
So I think I was watching a video from you, and I think there was a chart where you said that, what would you put, like, I think you put some sort of percentage on what percentage of looks plays in your value according to women, in the eyes of women. So, like, I'd say I put that around, like, 60%. It's like your 60% of your value is looks. Would you agree with that? Or, like, what number would you put to it?
I would say it really depends on how you met. So I said that online it's like 75% because, like, I feel even online it's not above 80% because, like, you can signal status in the photos, you can signal lifestyle in the photos. But I would say that when it comes to things like warm approach, it goes down to like 50%. But in cold approach and bars and clubs, it might be like somewhere between 60 to 75%.
Yeah, yeah. So, and what number did you put for circle, like warm approach?
I said it was about half.
About half. So, I would. I think I would. So, would you say that the game is a higher percentage of what matters in a warm approach than in other forms, right?
Yeah, because like if it's warm approach, you have time to build rapport and stuff. But I would say it's more personality for warm approach, and cold approach might be more like game. Because I feel like game and personality, while they're similar, they're not really the same thing.
So, the thing is, we're talking about a pie chart, So we're talking about the percentage that something matters. So, like, I would agree with your like percentages. I think that they are fairly accurate. But what I think is that game and looks matter less in a warm approach than any of them. But you don't need good game and you don't need that good of looks to get a woman in like in a warm approach. Would you agree with that? It's like both the barrier to entry for both of those categories. I'd say like both like the red pill and the black pill like reasons. The barrier to entry is lower for a warm approach. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because the reason I say that the barrier for entry is a lot lower is because she can see things like personality over time, and obviously the social consequence for ghosting is higher because other people in the surrounding area will find out. Whereas if it's online, the investment is very low because nobody's going to find out. That being said, I would say that Wheatwolf has raised a good point, that he thinks that while do warm approach, he argues that the relationship might lack attraction and might because of convenience. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't want to jump to that conclusion, but he thinks that a lot of the relationships that began without the initial attraction being strong often leads to problems later down the line in you know what. I think you know what I'm trying to say, right? I don't really want to say it here.
So someone in chat says they literally can't hear. But you saw that, right? So how about
I put my microphone
I'll
in.
test this real quick.
Often leads to problems later down the line in you know what. I think you know what I'm trying to say, right? I don't really want to say it here.
So someone in chat says
actually no, yeah, we should be able to hear now because I've just played it myself. But yeah,
yeah,
the point,
I did that too. Yeah,
but the point I was trying to make, right, an important point that I was trying to make was that while obviously it can be easier via warm approach because you can overcome the barrier of like looks and game to a degree, Wheatwaffles himself argued that even if you were able to do that, it means the relationship might resemble more of a friendship than an actual relationship. I don't know if this is true or not, because it's quite a negative angle.
I'd say I definitely agree with Wheatwaffles on that.
Yeah,
point.
Maybe he's right, but I can't confirm it for sure.
But talking about something else relating to this, so I guess warm approach is basically the only place I think that blue pill plays a significant role. The blue pill things actually matter.
Agreed, because like if you meet on a dating app, she knows that you are very replaceable, so I don't really think that the blue pill applies that much. And I would say that like up until about like 20 years ago, it was pretty much all blue pill.
Okay, I think I would disagree with that. I wouldn't say it was all
not
blue
all,
pill,
but like
more
mostly, because like our parents and our grandparents, they never had to learn any of this stuff.
Yeah. So I think I agree with you on the basic point about that. But what I was going to say is that, so can I just give an anecdote to support the idea of like why I think the barrier of entry is lower? I think we both agree about that. I just want to give some personal evidence.
Yeah, sure.
In case anyone's not convinced. So like I'm in college and I live in like a dorm, you know?
Yeah, of course. The thing where you sleep with like
and
yeah, carry on.
Yeah. So like there are 4 people in my dorm, like my suite, I guess is what it's called, but like So two of my roommates are in a relationship. One of them is not. I am not in a relationship. And I have never had a girlfriend before. But the two of my roommates, so
Mm-hmm.
both of these guys are in relationships. And the thing is, I'd say objectively, they're both lacking in the red pill like strengths and like the black pill strength. So like they both have lower looks than I do. Like they're both obese. Um and they're both like not they don't both don't really have the best faces, so they're probably like 2 points below me,
Yeah.
I'd say. And like they also are less masculine and like less frame and like status than I do, I think. So
Right.
like they both don't really have the red pill strengths or the black pill strengths that would make a woman attracted to you theoretically.
Yeah, but
So
he's
like
able to overcome that because obviously warm approach Halo really makes a huge difference. Because I would argue
yeah,
that,
so,
like you said, circumstance and what is called the exposure effect, which has been studied, so it's not just cope, it's actually a real thing, can actually increase, I don't know if it's attraction, but comfort, right? I don't know, because, like, there is the argument that the dynamic might not be as good, but I don't know if I can really confirm that to be true. But matter of the fact is, the exposure effect does exist to a degree.
yeah, so that's definitely a factor, and I would definitely agree with that. And also, I think that so like for me personally, I so like my self evaluation I think is very accurate that I have higher SMV than they do in both the red pill and black pill sense.
Yeah,
But
definitely,
I think
because
that but since I'm kind of like introverted, I'm like kind of I'm kind of like a social recluse, even though I would say that in most situations, I would imagine myself being higher on the hierarchy than they are because I have better looks and I come off as a bit more masculine and dominant, which is a little bit of a low bar.
yeah, because
But
most guys are
that's
not
just
masculine and dominant at all.
yeah, and I'd say that I'm probably not that masculine or dominant, but these two guys in particular are not. Like I'm not even trying to like down talk them, I'm just trying to be honest about the dynamics at play. And like I'd say like so the point I'm trying to get at is that like I made a video where I kind of explored the guys I see have success. So what do they have in common? I kind of made like four different categories. So like I put and one of them was like so it was like social circle, good looking, game or location. Those were the four things I saw that every guy who had success had one of those. So I think that what I think is that if you don't have a social circle and you aren't super good looking, then dating is especially difficult
Yeah,
because social circle is the main means of access for guys who do not have high SMV, I think.
I'd agree because, like, unless you're like 7 SMV or more, right? I would argue that if you don't have any social circle, you're not going to have a dating life at all because most relationships still begin from social circle in the United Kingdom, but not the United States because that's mostly online. And the way that average and below guys can actually get girls, that would be so-called out of their league, as they might say, in street language. The way that they are able to do that is because they have the social circle. So that means that they can push ahead of everybody else, right? They can push ahead of
Yeah.
everybody else without relying on looks-based things, right? Without relying on visuals. Because dating apps are entirely visual. Whereas, so if a guy who obviously is below height in normie, let's say, which is like supposed to be 6, maybe even below Chad Light 7 for guys who want to be like really strict, it's not very wise to rely on entirely dating apps only because they are the most looks heavy platforms. And I would say cold approach is somewhere in between the two, but I think the woke culture has made it incredibly difficult to do cold approach. But I still think it is possible because I have gotten dates by doing it. It's just that it requires a lot of situational stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So like So yeah, dating apps definitely we're in agreement about that. Dating apps should not be your main way of meeting women unless like you're like a really good looking guy, like you're a Chad Light or above, or maybe like an H10 with like really good pictures. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. HTN with really good pictures is the bare minimum. Like, MTN success on dating apps, I just don't really think it happens, in all honesty. Like, of all the
Well, I
people
think
that
you
I know, right, that are succeeding on dating apps, they are at the very least a strong 6, weak 7.
yeah, so I'd say that you are definitely a mid-tier normie from what I've seen of you.
Yeah.
And like, didn't you tell me that you have managed to go on some dates from dating apps?
Yeah, I have, but it required me to, like, increase my looks using this face app tool, right? And I wasn't able to go on any dates unless I did that. Because I already said that I still think I'm probably about a 5, like a mid-tier normie in attractiveness, right? But
Yeah.
I was still able to go
So
on dates, but only because I was a 6 in the photos. I'll send you the photo actually, because then you'll know for sure.
I think you sent me that already.
No, but the
Like you sent me
photo
your
of me
profile.
that's like more attractive than I actually am. Like there was
Oh, let
one
me see.
particular photo that did really well, but it
My
only did well
Discord.
briefly. Instagram because it's
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
hand.
yeah. I know.
Um,
Okay, let me see.
it's just us proving that obviously from our own experiences, the people that do well on these apps are almost always good looking.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Good looking, at least in HTN, are the guys that are getting consistent results. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I don't really think that anybody can convince us otherwise anymore.
Okay. So are you sending me the photo right now?
Yeah, I'm just looking for it because it's kind of buried deeply down. Have a
Genetic
look.
determinists, if you're still here, make sure if you have a question, just ask us.
Yeah. I also invited my other friend Enjoy to encourage, but he might have fell asleep now because he said to me that, he was going to come on the live, and I'm sure he will, but I'm not sure where
Oh,
he is.
yeah, I could definitely see there's editing. It's not egregious, but like, yeah, FaceApp. I'm pretty sure like every guy I've seen like talk about the like how to get results like recommends using FaceApp. So like,
It's
did
really
you use
good.
FaceApp for this?
But I don't know
Use
if I've
FaceApp?
actually frauded a whole point or not, in all honesty.
I think you probably frauded like at least like half a point, I think. I mean, you definitely look noticeably better. Like your jawline's a little like stronger, I think, in the picture.
Yeah, it's stronger because if you actually have a look, this is actually what I look like.
Let me see. So yeah, it's definitely like I definitely say it's like a point higher, I think actually. I think there you look like a 6 or a 6.5, and I think in like a regular photo you look like a 5 or a 5.5, I think.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that in all honesty. And I think it explains that even average these days is no longer good enough. But in
So the
social
thing is,
circle it is.
I think I was gonna okay, so I think I've also managed to go on some dates from dating apps, but I actually haven't used FaceApp, and I think I have slightly worse pictures than you.
Yeah,
But I think maybe I have like slightly higher SMV, probably because of ethnicity. Like, so like, are you like Asian, half Asian?
I'm half Asian, half white.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So like, I guess like that's a little bit like worse, I guess, than being like fully white. But like, I
Yeah,
don't think your ethnicity is like a huge killer, but like, it's probably not optimal, you know?
it's not optimal because I've noticed that I've seen studies on like response rates on these dating apps, and I've noticed that generally speaking, the phenos of white, black, and Latino generally tend to do better than the Asian phenos do.
Yeah, but I'd say like, I guess in some context, I could see you kind of like being like vaguely white, and I guess it wouldn't really hurt you as much as being fully Asian. I'm not sure about
But
the specifics.
would you
Like,
say
does
I
that
look
reflect your
more?
experience?
Would you say I look more white or Asian if people didn't know who I was?
I'd say if I saw, I'd say people would be more likely to guess that you were full white than full Asian. But I guess most people would probably know that you're probably like mixed white and Asian, I guess.
Yeah, because like the thing I've noticed is that there was this experiment where they did like a white Chad versus an Asian Chad, and the white Chad got like 5 times more results despite being of like the same.
That's not
looks level.
surprising.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
I've noticed that there's a lot higher response rates. I would say that black guys do well as well, contrary to like
Yeah.
what BP will say. But I think that more
I'd
than
say-
anything, I feel like once you get to a certain level of looks, I think it begins to matter less and less. But then I would say that, like, from my experiences, Asian does carry attacks in dating for men.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I probably have like, according to like wheat waffles, I guess, like if we're using his terminology, I probably have premium pheno. It's like I have like blue eyes and I have like brown hair, so that's probably
Yeah,
like the
that's
most
premium.
in demand pheno, right?
Yeah, mine would be marginal because I still have like half and half of each, and I do have hazel eyes and stuff. But I would say phenotype marginal, height marginal, 5'8", face as well marginal, everything. Like I'm basically like marginal in everything.
Yeah, so I'd say in face I'm probably like a solid 6 probably.
Yeah, I'd say I was
It probably
about
according
5.
to like wheat waffles. But
Yeah.
like face and race, I have like a good like halo, a good advantage, But like I guess like the thing holding me back is my height. I'm 5'6.5", so that's like probably lower marginal, if not like junk height.
Yeah,
So-
maybe I would say lower marginal because junk means like really small, but I still think
Yeah,
that
I
like
guess
if you can compensate with
I
other
guess like
things,
it's not a killer, right?
it's not
like,
a
I'm talking
killer.
to
No,
most
like
women.
I would say that people exaggerate how much height actually matters. But I was actually going to go on to another thing, but I can't remember what it was. But it was something regarding things that Wheat says. Oh, I was going to ask, so what are your experiences with women like on these apps? So when you went on those dates, what did you notice?
So if I had to summarize, I'd say I definitely had to run a lot of volume on these apps, and it's because I had like my pictures were not very good. My pictures were like probably like just like average as far as like the kind of pictures like an average guy would put. Like nothing that's a complete killer, but like my pictures weren't that great. So like I think it was mostly that I had like decent looks and I used like good like some like text game, to kind of give myself an edge, And like I'd say my experiences have been, I've had to use a lot of volume. So like I've used Hinge, Tinder, Facebook dating. Sorry if this is going to be like a long explanation,
No
but
problem.
I'd say like, so I had to run a lot of volume and like I was sending like a lot of messages on Hinge and Facebook dating. I was sending like using basically all of my messages on Hinge, and I would use like as many as I could on Facebook dating. And it would get to the point where it would start showing me like less attractive women
Yeah,
because like I was always just like using the apps like all the time, which I think is a good strategy because if you're using the apps, you should be using them consistently because that gives you a little bit of a boost in the algorithm. But I'd say as far as my experiences on the date, I could definitely tell that I was more disposable than if I had met them in real life. And that's just because like, they have more options if they're on their app. They have more guys that they can talk to. So it felt like they were a bit impatient for me. Like they were just like the first ever girl I went on a date with was back in September off of Hinge. And it's like I felt like the date went pretty good, but then like she ghosted me afterwards. And like I think that was just because most likely it was because I didn't make a move, And I felt that they're impatient. They want some like super strong chemistry on first meeting, which is a pattern I've seen from women from the apps. They want to have super strong chemistry. There's not patience to kind of have that slow burn thing that you would have with someone you meet in real life. So would you say that kind of reflects your experience?
yeah. So I actually went on 5 dates, or no, 5 first dates.
For me, it was 4.
4.
So yeah, around the same amount.
Similar, and 3 of mine led to second, right? 3 of the 5 dates led to second dates, but I would say that one of them doesn't really count because I already told you that one of them actually brought her friends, which was really annoying, and it obviously backfired after that. But if
Yeah.
we're just talking about general, right? If we're just like keeping everything just simple, I would say that from my memory, if we're gonna let's use the premium marginal junk treatment thing, 'cause I feel like that's a really important one as well, right?
Sure.
So the first day I went online, I would say that the woman was like marginal looks. I would say
Okay.
no, actually, maybe slightly below, maybe sub-marginal actually. So like slightly below my looks level, and she was giving marginal treatment. It was actually premium at some points, but I don't really think it was truly premium treatment because I've always found that if you're not sure, it means it's not premium. And we actually kissed and everything on the second date and everything, but then she started falling off after because I remember I was the one that ended it, but then the messages were getting shorter and shorter and shorter, so I just decided to end it. And then I went on like a rampage of so many other dates within that 7 week period. And I would say that most of them, on these dating apps, you're probably going to have to date down a lot. Because I remember there was one that was more attractive than me, and I behaved the same on like every date. But then she ended up unfollowing me. But I will say that I did have a positive experience in the cold approach date that I went on in February. It's just circumstance obviously killed it, but I think you already remember that me and you have the same experiences in the sense that they tend to fall off a lot. But I will say that the last one I went on wasn't a fall off, it was rather just geography getting in the way. She had to go back to Japan.
Yeah. So yeah. So would you say that? So wait, could you repeat for me? How many dates have you gone on from Cold Approach and the apps, respectively?
So cold approach, I went on 2 dates out of 16 approaches, which is a lot higher than it sounds. And dating apps, I've been on 5 dates, right? And for cold approach, one led to a second. Online, I would say only two led to a second, because I already told you we're not going to count the friend date as an actual second date. So in my life total, 4 out of the 7 led to a second. What about you?
So none of my dates have led to a second date. I'm only currently in contact with the last girl I went on a date with in February. So there might be a second date with her. I'm not sure, but like she's kind of the text conversation kind of fell off. So
Right.
I don't know. I'd put it at like there's a somewhat of a chance I'll see her again. But yeah, for all of them, I haven't had a second date yet. Yeah.
Right. So you're still in contact after 2 months?
Yeah.
Right. And how have you not been on a second date?
I'd say for her it was that she was texting inconsistently, and eventually, like I think like a month ago, I asked her to go on a second date, and she said she declined.
Damn it.
So
So
like
she's
I
not
just
interested.
stopped talking to her, and then I recently I think talked to her on the phone for briefly, but she's like hasn't really been responding very much over text.
Right. So you think that's the main problem? Obviously, the fact that
Is what the main problem?
well, I mean, the fact that she's not responding, surely that means low interest, right?
Yeah, I definitely say low interest, but I think her interest got lower. I think because she actually texted me first after our first date because I just decided not to text until the next day, and she actually texted before I did. So that's a sign of high interest, right? When the girl texts before you do after the date.
Yeah, so if she doesn't text you after the date, it's not premium treatment. Like, everybody needs to hear this, right? It doesn't matter how good the date went, if she doesn't text you after the date, it's not high interest. Because if you think about it logically, if you paid for the date, if you planned the date, if you did everything, the ball is in her court. She has to now return, right? If she doesn't at least send you a text after the date, it's not high interest. Because I will say that the last date I went on in February, right, the girl I went on 2 dates with, she texted after the date almost immediately. And if she doesn't do that, I'm sorry to say, it's not high interest.
Yeah, so I would agree with that. That like if they're high interest, I'd say in most cases they're gonna text before you do, especially if there's like a couple hours, you know.
Yeah.
And like I'd say, but the thing is, I don't really think about level of interest that much. That's not really my main focus, and I think this might be one of our first disagreements. Is like I think that guys shouldn't like think about level of interest that much. I think it's better to like if she's showing you mid interest, you should go for it. If it's high interest, you should go for it. And low interest, you can go for it. Like honestly, just go for whatever. I mean, if there's low interest and you want to just not continue, not to waste your time, that's fair. But like mid interest, you can get stuff out of mid interest. A lot of girls are shy. A lot of girls aren't the most open, you know, especially if they're like more on the conservative side, more shy, you know. So like I feel like, you know, if it's mid interest, just go for it. Honestly, you should just try to get a second date. Honestly, if the date didn't end with like some clear like confrontation or some sort of like if it wasn't absolutely terrible, you should just try for the second date. Just like text and see if you can make it happen if you want to. Honestly, that's my opinion.
I'm not sure if I agree because I feel like if you're talking purely short term, then maybe this is a good idea because if you're not getting any high interest leads, then chances are like it's not entirely your fault. It might be a looks thing. But I would say that the thing you need to be really careful about is that if she's not high interest, the relationship is going to be fragile as a base because I feel like if you're not her first choice, problems can come later down the line, if that makes sense. And I do agree that some women can be shy. This can happen. But I think that no matter how shy she might be, she will almost always at least text you after the date if she's attracted to you. So I don't really think that... I do think interest level is very important because it sets the foundation for a relationship, right? Low interest, obviously, you shouldn't chase no matter what happens. Medium interest is workable. High interest, obviously, is ideal. But I would say that low interest, yeah, I wouldn't try gaming it. But then you are a PUA, so I feel like you're going to be more focused on game.
So yeah, I mean, I guess the thing about my name is like I very like I like study PUA and stuff, you know, but like I'm not, you know, I'm obviously not there yet, you know. So, but like yeah, I definitely align more probably with PUA than you do.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be surprising, but I'd say so yeah, like I'd say that's something I disagree with Wheat Waffles on, and like the, you know, scanning for level of interest. Like I
Yeah.
just don't really think about it that much, you know? I mean, I think it's more just like I'm more focused on like the outcome, and I think I can agree with like the long term argument is that you want a girl with high interest, but I'm just gonna say this right now. Do you know? So when does the guy get like? What's the moment that the guy gets like the amount of leverage? What's the moment when a guy gets guy's level of leverage in the relationship in the dating process? When does his leverage multiply? What's the exact moment that happens?
I would say like once the relationship becomes official, the leverage goes more towards you, especially after you've slept with her, I think. But I still don't think it fully shifts like the PUA say, but it shifts a little bit. And then I would
I
say
think
that
it's
like the what are we talk, I would say leverage has probably shifted quite a lot in your favour, but I would still say that it's never going to fully be in your favour because of how replaceable you are.
yeah. I think we're in agreement about that, but I'd say the moment is not when the relationship starts. The moment is when you have intimacy for the first time, I'd say.
First
And I
time,
don't know
you
this based
think?
on personal experience, but
But then, like, who gets judged more in the bedroom? It's the guy, isn't it?
yeah, it's the guy.
So then couldn't you argue that the leverage is still in her side?
I'd say, I mean, I'd agree that the leverage. So, like, I'd say that in 95% of relationships, the woman has more leverage, right?
Yeah, I'd agree.
But that's like, let's say, like, at the start, maybe you have like 5-10% leverage. I don't know, at the very beginning. Maybe that might be too much, actually. But, like, once you sleep with her, maybe you have like 30% leverage or something like that.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
goes up a lot because, like, you have to remember that they are the ones that can bear kids, right? They are the ones
Yeah.
that can have babies. I'm not gonna debate whether a man can or not. I'm not gonna get into that stuff, obviously. But because
Yeah,
only women
I'm
can.
pretty sure a man can't. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm sure as well. But the point I'm trying to make is that they have to be more careful with their investments. So by default, you actually gain a little bit of leverage after intimacy. But I would say
Yeah,
that the dynamic shifts, kind of. But then again, like, I think the thing that people discuss quite a lot is performance, right? So if you're bad in the bedroom and it consistently keeps happening, then there's a high chance that she might get bored.
So I'd say, so like you were referring to like the parental investment hypothesis, right?
Yeah, the parental investment.
So yeah, I definitely agree with that. That's probably the reason why they get like women tend to become needy after sex. Before sex, they're not needy. And before sex, the guy is almost always going to be the one that's being needy, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that women become needy though, if that makes sense. Like,
Not universally.
I don't think it's that big because, like, you have to remember that Wheat Waffle said himself that that's not usually what happens because he was like doing night game and then he said that, like, most of the time the woman is more likely to fall off than the man, whereas he said, like, bald podcasters would say it's the other way around.
Yeah. So like I think that I'm trying to think where I was going with this. I think that if you can get to that point, then automatically, like, a girl's not going to be low interest after you have sex for the first time.
No, like,
most likely.
You don't have sex with low interest. Mid interest is possible. High interest, obviously, is definitely possible. Well, it's almost certain if it's high interest, unless, like I said, in my situation, circumstance got in the way. But I would say that as a general rule, right, if mid interest is still possible to bed, in my opinion.
I think low interest is possible, and I'll explain why. You know, so like
it is, yeah.
I think that you think it's possible.
It is possible, but whether it's worth all of that effort is another question.
I think it's worth it to at least give a little bit of a try, and I'll explain why. So, like, Wheat Waffles, and like probably you would agree that going from low interest to high interest is very hard, right?
Yeah, it's very hard.
If not impossible, right?
It's not impossible, no.
Okay, so like very difficult, I guess, is the label we'll give to that, right?
Yeah.
So I would agree with that. I would agree that going from low interest to high interest, that's like, unless you have like expert level game or some sort of like weird circumstantial thing, that's not really going to happen.
No, it's not. Unless you like leveled up suddenly and like you came back in like.
Or if you find that you're famous or something.
Yeah,
right?
Then it would shoot like right from low to like giga high.
So, but here's the thing: going from mid interest to high interest isn't. It's only moderately difficult to go from mid to high, right?
It's not that hard at all. Like, I would say that it is possible. Like, a lot of the extreme guys will say that it's not, but I think it is.
Okay, so is it then, by the same logic, is it only moderately difficult to go from low to mid interest? Would you agree with that?
Well, I would say that, yeah, but then going up low, mid, high, I think is very, very difficult because I think that if it starts as low or even mid, if you say one wrong word, she's gone. Because I'll tell you a funny story, which I'm going to talk about in my next video, which is going to be about shit tests, right?
Yeah.
We'll talk about shit tests after this. So I cold approached this girl. This was the first date I ever went on, and this was like I don't know, like a year and a half ago or something, right? And then in the messages, we exchanged a little bit of text, and she sent me like a flirty text, right? Or I think it was flirty, but I don't know. I think she was trying to flirt. Then I set up the date, and then I was like, "Oh, do you work weekends?" And I was asking all these needy questions, right? And then suddenly she
Yeah.
started flaking, and she took like a whole day to respond. Then I begged for a date for like 2 months because I was stupid, and I eventually went on the date, but the dynamic was already damaged by that point. And that was just a classic example of like how you can ruin it easily. But then I feel like if you're still in this mentality, that means you're just in the scarcity mindset, because if you were really the man, you would have other options, right? So that means like you wouldn't care if like one woman disappeared. But realistically, how many percent of men can actually afford to say that? Probably like what, 5% or less.
I definitely agree with you on that. The scarcity mindset thing, that's mostly cope, you know? It's like most guys don't have abundance, and that's just a fact.
Yeah, most guys don't have abundance. So, well, mindset obviously helps. You can't have the mindset if you don't have it. Like, you can't just pretend that you have a Ferrari when you have a Honda, because you always know that you have a Honda. Same way that you can't say to a guy in the desert who can't drink water, "Oh, you just need to drink water, bro," because he's not going to have access to it.
Yeah, yeah. So like, I was gonna say, so like, I would agree with you. So I think you were guessing that the argument I was gonna be making is that like, since going from low to mid isn't that hard, and going from mid to high isn't that hard, therefore it shouldn't be that hard to go from low to high
Yeah,
over
but
time.
the
You thought
difficulty
that's the
goes
argument
up.
you thought I was gonna make, right?
Yeah, but the difficulty goes up exponentially, not linearly. So mid is 10 times
Yeah,
rarer than low, and high is 10 times rarer than mid. But I would say that,
I'd agree with that.
yeah,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
because if you're on the dating apps and you get, let's say, like 2 to 3 matches a day, right? But then I feel like the more matches you have, the higher percentage that are going to be high interest. Whereas if you only have a few matches, they're almost always going to be low interest. Because even when I was in my prime, going on dates every week, which was like August, September 2025, none of them were high interest. Only one of them was, and that was because she super swiped me. Then when I saw her in real life, she looked nothing like her photos, right? And I'm telling
Oh
you,
yeah,
like,
that's a common problem.
she was a 4 at best. But in the photos, she was portraying herself as like a strong, maybe like a 6 or a strong 5. But then
So
I
would
was
you have
kind of
still
frauding my
gone
pics
for
too.
her?
Sorry?
Would you have still gone for her?
No, because what happened was we went on the date and there wasn't that much chemistry, and she made some like bullshit excuse to leave the date early. So then I was like,
Oh
"Oh,
yeah,
you know
brutal.
what? Fuck this." Right? So I didn't text
You
her
got
after the date.
rejected?
Well, not really, because like she didn't have Instagram and we only text on WhatsApp. And then I just didn't text her, and that was it. It ended. But we didn't block each other or anything. It just naturally fell off, and I didn't really want to see her again anyway, so it wasn't really a loss.
Okay, that's fair. So what I was gonna say, so like that's not the argument I was gonna make. My argument was that I think that mid interest isn't really that bad of a place. I think that you agreed you can sleep with a girl with mid interest,
Oh,
right?
definitely you can.
So my thought process is like low interest, since you can go from like low interest is different from no interest, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, no interest, you wouldn't have matched in the first place.
That's true, yeah. Like I guess like I think right when you match, I think that most of the time it's mid interest, right? And then it can go
Yeah.
to low interest through, I think, like poor texting, you know?
Yeah, you can. But the point that I'm trying to make is that I would say that mid is the majority, but maybe it's low. Like, I should really count, because I do actually have a video where I actually counted, and the majority were mid. But that was because my profile was already decent. But if someone's profile is like bad, I would say most of the time it's going to be low. But I would say that high is rare, and it's like a gem if you get it. But if you only ever go out to see high, you're not gonna be able to practice your game.
I think we're in complete agreement about that. Only going for high is stupid. And I think that
Yeah, because
so most of your results are going to come from mid, right?
yeah, because you're capping yourself if you stick to only high. But that being said, I do, if you have like god tier abundance, then obviously I understand, like Austin Dunham. But obviously, most of our viewers are not at the level of Austin Dunham because he's like Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like or Tyrone. He's Tyrone. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you can say either one, but yeah, he's definitely like Chad light or higher.
Tyrone
Definitely, probably
light,
just
maybe.
Chad.
Or Tyrone, or either way, if you're that high up the hierarchy, you might as well say it's the same thing at this point because you're gonna have like women flocking to you,
and that's just not a reality. So I for most of us, for either of us, or like probably anyone who watches your channel or my channel.
Yeah, most of us are not Chads.
Yeah, and like so, but my thing is like I think that you should like if it's low interest, you should at least try. You know, if there's some inkling of interest, I think that if you have a date, okay, and like the date ends and it's kind of like I'm not sure if I'm gonna see her again. You should just text. You should just kind of test the waters and see if you can kind of get her on a second date, you know, and then you can see if you can raise it to mid in real life or over text through some way.
But
I think that. Do you know why I think that?
Why is that?
Well, I'd say it's just because I think it's not that much of an investment to just try like one or two more times with like a low interest girl, you know? So like maybe you could text her after the date and say like, hey, you know, I had a really good time. Then just ask her a question like, how's your night going? Something like that. That's just like a basic text you could send after a first date. And then like maybe she doesn't respond to that. Then you could like send her a second text, and then after that you can drop it. I think like that's like think about that. That's a very low investment. You know, that takes like very little time. That takes like 30 seconds. It takes like 10 to send a text. You know, and so it's like, and my mentality is like, if there's even like a 5% chance of that working, I think that's worth it. I think that you should just, if it's low interest, you should just at least like, you know, just like text again, you know?
Right. So you're saying that you should drop your ego and just try.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like, think about it. That's like, if you're just starting out, you should just try to go for anything where it like you see like leave no like rocks, like you know, leave no rocks unturned. You know, check under every nook and cranny for some interest. You know, if it just requires just a little bit of investment. You know, it's like if you're just starting out, you should just go for any girls that give you the time of day, and then you can later prioritize high interest.
Yeah, I agree. Mentality. So for beginners, you should only go out. You should go out with anybody possible, right? But not anybody possible, but anybody that gives you interest and is attractive enough. You shouldn't have high standards at the start because you have to actually practice. But as time goes on, you can raise your standards gradually. But I actually had a good question, and this is probably the most important question of this podcast, right? Do you think men should hire a dating coach? Yes or no, and why?
If you have the right finances, you should only go for an affordable coach who also has proven results in infields and stuff like that.
Right.
And testimonials.
And
would you agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I was going to ask you another question too. Do you think, right, in all honesty, that if somebody has like good photos, at what looks level do you think that even photos are not going to work?
I'd say, so we're talking about dating apps, right?
Yeah, so we're saying like, if you do like a proper alpha photo shoot of like you being like a badass and like having high status, at what is the minimum looks level that can work? So we're not talking normal photos, we're talking like proper top photos. Not saying professional, but just like female
like playing
gaze.
with fire, right? playing with fire photos or something.
Yeah, like having photos like that. What do you think is like the minimum S&V rating for that?
I'd say, if I were to put a number on it, I'd say at least a 4.5. I'd say.
Right. And 4.5 is fair because I would say that, but then my rating is like 5.5, I think, or 5, right? And
Yeah.
without me using FaceApp, right, which Playing with Fire uses, I don't seem to get results. But despite my photos being quite good, maybe they're not alpha photo shoot, but I think they are pretty much alpha photo shoot, or at least I think it is.
I'd say he'd probably say your pictures are decent, but not on his level, I think.
Yeah, because like, what about your photos? Is it possible if you could send me your photos so that I could like review?
I think I don't actually want to do that because I think my pictures are not. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're just think like average guy like taking selfies, and stuff like that. Just like probably just like your average guy pictures.
Oh, but you got results just having average pictures. Really? That's actually mad.
Well, I'd say it's probably just because I have a few halos. We went over that. Like my race, and like I have like probably like mid to upper marginal face. I probably have like a 6 out of 10 face.
Yeah, because when I did selfies, I was getting nothing at all.
Yeah, I think that. So yeah, maybe I'm a bit above you. Probably the main factor I think is ethnicity. I'll be dead honest.
It must be because I noticed that when I can't seem to get dating apps, right? Can't seem to get results on dating apps unless I take like a full-on alpha photo shoot. Whereas you didn't have to, so that suggests that you're starting at a higher baseline than me. But I would argue that...
I'd also...
Yeah?
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I would argue that me, at that time, was probably lower rated when I first started out, because I remember one time I bought a face rating and looks maxing advice from Wheat Waffles, and I followed his advice. I got a 4 out of 10 at the time. But that was because I was still underdeveloped. I was still like young and I still had a baby face. Right? But now, because I look more mature, I probably would get higher now.
Yeah, I'd also say, so like, I'd say I also use a lot of text game, I'd say. Like, I try to optimize that. Like, I use a lot of, like, openers that, like, I saw have, like, a high success rate, so I'm getting matched with more women than, like, a guy on my same looks level or with the same level of pictures probably should, because I use openers that kind of hook women into conversations. Like, do you use text game like a lot? Like, have you like watched like Playing with Fire and like implemented some of that?
Yeah, but I feel like my texting is more simple because I feel like you have to be careful with texting, because if you over sexualize, you might get banned, right? And when you get banned, believe me, it's a pain to get back on. But I would say
I never
that,
sexualize.
yeah,
That's probably just because like that's not, there would be some incongruence there because that's probably not like the kind of guy I look like. I don't really look like that, like a super like alpha fuckboy.
yeah, same here. Like, I'd say I'm more of the pretty boy archetype, but the kind of text that I send, right? I would just send a regular opener, right? Like, oh, I would comment on her profile, let's say, right? Well, actually, I'll have a look at some of the texts that I've sent some girls recently, like my matches. I would say something like, oh, I see you're a fan of this and that. Then I'd be like, oh, same here. Same here. You got any plans for the week? So I go straight, I set up the date quickly, right?
Yeah.
And then I just say, oh, let's do this instead. Let's do this weekend instead, if she says she's working. But then she said sure, and then she fell off, right? But I would say that this strategy has worked in the past, because I remember I didn't have to overcomplicate it. All I had to do was just send a couple of messages,
set up the date, and it was relatively simple. Like, I didn't really have to overthink text game. I didn't really have to overthink saying the perfect line, saying this, that, and the other. It was just relatively simple.
So I think that I think that you probably have above average text game from what I've heard, but that's not like a super high bar, you know?
Yeah, because most guys just text like simps, and they signal low status.
Yeah, yeah. So like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, or like, oh my God, you're so like just validating the girl, or just like being super needy and over validating. Yeah,
and obviously
definitely.
we don't do that, which is a very low bar.
Yeah, but like think about that. Like if you're not over validating, then you're already in like the top 20% probably for texting, right?
Yeah, definitely in the top 20% for texting.
But like I think I probably go a step further than you. Yeah, it's definitely like I definitely probably have like a slight advantage in like my facial aesthetics, and probably the biggest factor that is ethnicity. But I also heard that like the UK is kind of like brutal as far as dating goes for like the market.
Oh, it's horrible. Like, the UK dating market is terrible.
But I'm in like a blue city, like a maybe like a medium sized like blue city. So like I'm not sure if it's really that good here.
Blue state
Because
America
like
is
based
pretty
on
bad as well, because like I feel there's no traditional gender roles, so that means that women are more likely to prioritize career. That's not me saying that that's a bad thing. That's just me saying that it makes it a lot harder, because we always says mentality max. There's less motivation for them to enter relationships, because a lot of them have the attitude of, I don't need no man.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a problem like all in the like in every Western country.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would say that you might be a bit surprised, but Japan, contrary to what people say online, it's the same thing. Like, it's not
Yeah,
some
I'm not actually that
anime
surprised.
paradise. Japan's even worse. Like, when I was in Japan, I didn't go on a single date. 6 months, constant swiping until my thumbs were sore. No dates. Barely any matches.
Yeah. I don't think Japan is like the best place to like geomax, definitely.
It's
But
an
what I was
awful
gonna say
place
is like
to
so
geomax. It's a lovely
I think
place,
that I've gone
but
more into sorry, what were you gonna say?
it's a lovely place to visit, but it's not a great place to date.
Yeah, definitely. So like I was gonna say, so I think that you probably so you have really like good pictures, and like I think that you have like above average text game, but like I don't think you've like looked into like the like you don't you said you don't overthink text game, but like I think that there are some things like basic frameworks I think you would probably benefit from that I've used from like mainly like playing with fire as far as texting goes.
Any examples?
So like, do you want to hear
Oh, okay.
what I think?
Yeah, sure.
So like so first like you want to use like there's some like high response rate openers that he like went over. So it's like one of them is like can I be honest, which is like it invokes like curiosity like you comment that on like a girl's picture and she's more likely to match with you because she wants to know what you're being honest about, you know? So that's like one from like playing with fire. He said that that's like a good opener to use. Also,
right, I'm
like
write that down and I'm going to use it next time.
yeah, definitely. I mostly rely on those kind of like curiosity invoking, um, like openers because like that's like what gives me like more matches. It's like even a lot of girls who are even some girls that are higher, like better looking than me will match with me just because they want to know what I'm saying, you know?
Yeah.
So that gets my foot in the door a lot. It's like a curiosity invoking opener, like something like, or I say something like, I have something to say or something like that. You know, it's the same principle. It's like you invoke that kind of like curiosity there. They're more likely to respond.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely try this opener because I feel like openers matter a lot. I was actually going to also comment on this. So what dating apps do you use?
I use Hinge, Tinder, and Facebook dating, but most of my results come from Hinge.
Right, Hinge seems like one of the better ones, doesn't it? I use
It
Bumble.
is the best one, I think.
I use Bumble the most.
I don't use Bumble. I actually haven't gotten Like, I get like barely any results from Bumble. I just deleted it because I got so frustrated.
Right. What's the worst thing about Bumble?
I think the worst thing about Bumble is that the woman has to open, which is like that kind of that gets rid of the advantage that I was talking about, you know?
Ironically, the only dating app I've actually ever been on a date on is Bumble.
Interesting. So yeah, I mean, Bumble is good if I guess it's like because you have good pictures, you know, the good like kind of like alpha male pictures. Well, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah, I
right?
have the alpha male photo shoot, the alpha pictures.
So like, and then the other strategy I use is like optimally closing. So like the optimal way you're supposed to close over text is like, so you make some sort of like general suggestion about meeting up, you know? So like you say something like the line from PWF is like, let's get together sometime soon. Oh wait, I think we should get together sometime soon.
Yeah,
That's like the soft close, you know? That's like this, you're suggesting a general meeting. It's easy for her to agree to that, you know?
yeah, I think it's a really good strategy because I feel like if you say the right things, they're more likely to open. But if you're saying stuff like "You're so beautiful," you're just gonna get like left on red or
Yeah.
tested.
So like, and it's like you soft close and then you hard close. Then like after that, you make like a specific plan, uh, like Tuesday at 8 p.m., you know?
Yeah, so what you do is like you do a little bit of comfort talk for like 5 to 10 messages, then maybe like move platforms to Instagram to signal like your status and like maybe pre-selection. Then you set up the date,
Yeah.
and then you set up the date ideally 1 to 2 days before, because if you do it too far out, then they might start flaking. Because I remember when I sent loads of messages, right, where we were like talking to each other and opening up, and then the attraction went down, which obviously everybody knows it's a tale as old as time that attraction goes down when you open up. And I think that everybody knows it. It's become like a cliche now, and it's like everybody knows it.
Yeah.
It's like literally bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is, I don't use Instagram because I don't have good pictures, you know. So like I'll either just meet them, like sometimes I won't even go for the number. I'll just meet them like straight off the app, or I just go for the number. Is what it has been so far. It's like either the number or like the app,
Getting good pictures
straight
is
off the
really
app.
vital, right? It's really crucial to have these good pictures. I feel like you should invest in good pictures because
It's so important because, oh, you know what's funny? Just as we're talking now, I've had a woman message me on Bumble.
Oh,
I have to wait
yeah.
a though. I have the whole frame. I'm not going to respond immediately, man. I need to look like a
You
high
shouldn't
value.
respond. See, this is good because like you genuinely are busy. You know, you're genuinely too busy to respond.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
busy doing a podcast with you.
Yeah, yeah. You should let me know how it goes with that girl later. But yeah, I definitely agree that I could benefit from good pictures. The problem is, you know, I'm like at college right now. I don't really like. I live like an hour away from my home, you know. So and I don't really have any like friends here yet. Like any like solid friends, you know, like people that like could actually like take pictures for me. So like I guess like I could like ask like maybe like you know my brother or something to take pictures once I go back home. But like for now, I can't really get good pictures. You know, like it's not really something I can really do.
Yeah. Wait, so you see when it comes to good pictures, you don't need to have a professional photographer or anything, right? You can just get like other
Yeah,
people to take your pictures. So like just make like some alpha poses, right? Like I'll send you some photos that you can like try and copy a little bit, right? So doing
oh yeah,
like my
like at
photos,
like
for
a
example, like alpha
expensive
photo
restaurant.
shoot. You don't want to overdo it though, because then like they might start thinking that you got loads of money, and then like you might end up with gold diggers. So I wouldn't overdo it, but I would try and do it like a little bit. So I'll send you some examples, but just don't flex in front of a Lambo or like show off watches, because then like
Yeah, I
that's
mean, I'm
literally
really like
emotion.
not that kind of guy, you know. So it'd kind of be just incongruent anyway if I was trying to like flex money, you know.
Yeah, it's too incongruent if I'm being honest with you.
Oh yeah, you know about like wheat waffles is like DGs versus UG's thing.
Oh, yeah. What about that?
I mostly attract UGs. I don't really attract many DGs.
Well,
Would you say it's the same for you?
Yeah, well, I'll send you photos of a couple and then you tell me what you think. Because I feel like I don't know what counts as DG or UG exactly, because I feel like some girls are in the middle. But I feel like I know what he's trying to say.
Definitely, yeah.
Is this UG or DG? I think you're gonna know.
Okay, that's definitely okay. I don't even have to say that's a fucking UG.
Almost every girl I match with is UG. But here's the rule: pretty boys UG.
Wait, you matched with this girl?
Hmm?
Oh, she's pretty attractive, actually.
Yeah, she's the one that messaged me just now. High interest. What about this girl?
God, I can't really tell, honestly. Oh, she's vaping. I say this one is kind of in the middle because she doesn't have like she's smiling in the picture, so that's a sign of a sign of UG, but like also she's vaping. I don't know. It could be either. I'm just gonna say in the middle, I guess.
Yeah, because she's got a vape. Yeah. I'll just send.
Because like DGs, like I think we all know, like when we think of DGs, we think of like the Miami archetype.
Miami archetype, yeah. But I feel like.
Do you have any other pictures?
Yeah, I'll have some more. But I feel like all of them are going to be UG. But I'll just send you another one. But I'm almost certain that you're going to say that all of them are UG. But this one might be a bit DG-ish. Nah, this one's a little bit DG, I think.
God, this is... So wait, what did you think I was going to say this one was? Lulu, what do you think I was going to say she was?
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, definitely in the middle. Because like she has dyed hair. Her environment kind of... is a little like sleazy, but like also I can tell that she's like definitely not really about the DG lifestyle, I guess. She seems like more like she's kind of nerdy, I guess, a little bit,
Yeah, but I'd say most of the women I attract are UGs, and I feel like that's because of if a guy is like masculine, then he usually attracts DGs. But if a guy is like,
but aren't there's some guys that could attract both, right? Like, yeah. I guess I'll give an example. Like, I'd say, like, probably, like, let's think of an example. Like, honestly, I think that Flav could attract either. I know that Wheat Waffle said that he's going to mostly attract DGs, but I think he could get either, really.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. So, I would say Austin Dunham is an example of someone who can attract both UGs and DGs. Like,
that's also the person I was going to think, which is, like, I think that black guys mostly attract DGs, I'd say.
Sorry.
Don't really want to get too TOS, but I'm sure we all know the reasons for that, right?
Yeah, of course we know.
But, like, Austin, like, he's kind of, like, a little bit, like, he's, like, professional, he, like, acts like a, more like a high-value man, He's not, like, like a gun-toting, kind of, dreadhead from the hood,
Yeah, he's not like that. He's more like a well-polished guy.
Yeah, and I'd say, like, it's weird, because, like, I guess, like, I don't know if I want to name drop him. There's a certain guy that his initials are AT, originally from the U.S., also Romania,
of course we all know AT.
You know what I'm talking about.
Everybody knows AT. AT is an example.
I'd say, like, he definitely DGs. Like, 100%
he's DGs only.
DGs,
like, no UG would go out with Tate.
So it's like, I don't know, but like both of them both Austin and like Tate, I guess they won't know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you about AT. What would you rate AT's looks?
Well, his face or just like overall SMV? Face? I give him like a 4.5 or something.
Would you say he's below me?
Yeah, he's definitely below you in terms of just like facial aesthetics. Like he's not the most, but he's like super tall and he's like muscular and stuff.
Yes,
so,
I
like,
don't really think it matters. Tristan Tate is more attractive than Andrew, I think.
Also, I think that I think that UGs tend to care more about facial aesthetics than DGs. I think DGs care more about masculinity.
They care more about like height and power and status and like muscles.
Yeah, but also I guess like height kind of. I guess like height is kind of like a universal. Like pretty much all women care about height. I'm just gonna be real.
Yeah, but I feel like someone like Face IQ is such a great example of someone who's like above average facially, but like he lacks like the primal side of things.
That might just be partially because of his behavior.
His behavior is weird. Like, if I'm being honest with you, right, I like him. He seems like a great lad, but he's not very charismatic. Let's be honest. Like, someone like Andrew Tate or Myron Gaines, for example, they probably have like more charisma.
He gets DGs, right? Myron does.
Yeah, Myron actually facially is probably like more attractive than Tate, but I feel like he still gets DGs.
Yeah.
Like Face IQ is like, I feel like he
mogs both of them to death, honestly, in terms of just like face
only. Yeah, I would say that he mogs them. Myron Gaines as well. So yeah, I would say Face IQ is probably like a height to normie. I would say I still think he's below clavicular, but
I mean, like I guess like most guys probably want to go for UGs, right?
Yeah,
should want to go for UGs.
I would say so. Yeah.
Like, I feel like for DGs, I think a lot of them, they just have higher standards, I think. They're more likely to be delusional about their own value, you know?
Yeah, that's what we said. He said that, like, even if they're, like, a 3 out of 10, they'll still act like they're, like, a 10.
Oh, yeah, like, that's kind of like in Miami. In Miami, they all think they deserve, like, a super, like, high SMV, like, rich guy.
It's like, oh, my man, he needs to make 6 figures. He needs to be 6 foot, and he needs to have a 6-pack.
Yeah, that's like you don't see that from like undamaged women. They don't have that mentality. They're more like, oh, if he's nice and like we have the same interests, they'll sugarcoat it. Obviously, they still care about looks, but like they're not going to openly say their criteria.
Yeah, they're not openly going to announce it. I was also going to ask a question about something quite similar. What is your opinion on body count?
I mean, I think it matters, honestly. I think it matters, but, like, I think you shouldn't obsess over, like, virginity because that's not really a realistic thing. But, like, definitely take it into account. You definitely want to marry a girl or get into a long-term relationship with a girl who has a relatively low or reasonable body count.
Yeah, I would agree with you because I will say that some people obsess over virginity. But I feel like obsessing over virginity is like silly because it's just not going to happen. But I would say that body count does matter to a degree. But I think it only matters at like the high numbers. I was going to ask, what do you think about man's body count? Does it matter?
It depends on what you mean by matter. I mean, I think that it's harder to have like a blue-pilled like long-term relationship with a high body count.
I'd agree.
But like if you have a high body count, it's much easier to get laid, and you're probably like I don't think it's actually gonna like hurt your psyche on the same way it hurts a woman's psyche.
Yeah, and I'd argue that like for a man, it's arguably the opposite in the sense that like if it's low, women are more likely to judge you.
Yeah, that's true. Like, pretty much all women find, like, virgins unattractive, I think.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a virgin, you probably just shouldn't really say it.
Yeah, like, you shouldn't really admit it, in my opinion, because, like, women are attracted to pre-selection. And obviously, like, if you're a virgin, 90% of the time, it's not by choice. And guys can cope and say that it is, but 90% of the time, it isn't.
Yeah. For men, like, basically no man's going to be virgin by choice,
Of course not.
But, like, I was going to say? I was going to say, Michael Sartain,
Yeah, of course I know.
Obviously.
I like him.
Yeah, I'd say I kind of like him, but, like, there's some things where it's like, so, how he has, like, all these girls around him, right?
Mm-hmm. Pre-selection.
Yeah, but they're all DGs,
of
right?
Course.
They're mostly DGs.
Of course, because like Michael Sartain is like alpha male. Like alphas are like gonna attract DGs.
Yeah, and it's also like the thing is, it's like so. I was thinking about how he thinks that he talks more about like money and status, right?
Not really money, but like pre-selection. I think.
Yeah, status pre-selection, stuff like that. That's mostly like, so the thing is, he probably thinks that he has a skewed perception where it's like women care more about like status and pre-selection than like most women out in the world do. Because like I think the women around him, like I'd say like yeah, he does have a lot of attractive, like somewhat attractive women around him, but you could find women like that are around that same looks level, like in just like a small town or just like a regular size, like just any regular city, you could find women that are on that same looks level who have nowhere near as high standards, you know?
Yeah, I'd agree, but I would say that there's a very unpopular opinion, but I have a friend on Twitter. He's like a player, right? His body count is easily like over 200, and his looks isn't that great. Like he's average looking, right? But he says that like a lot of the time, UGs and DGs, while they do exist, it's not really an indicator of like how often a woman sleeps around.
Yeah.
It's an unpopular opinion, put it that way, but it's the truth, because he says that like you can't.
So some girls look innocent, but they
but they're not. That's the point. But you can predict their behavior obviously by their looks, but you can't predict like promiscuity, and I don't really think there's any way that you can find out unless, right, they spill the beans.
You know about the stereotype around nurses that they're super promiscuous?
Yeah, because they like have one-to-one contact with men.
It's also because like the thing that makes it like a good example of that is like nurses. That's like a very like UG like stereotype profession where like the women in there are like probably very feminine, very like caring and stuff, at least ostensibly, right?
Yeah, but like I said, the facade is very rarely the actual person.
Yeah, it's like they are the most, promiscuous. They're the most like they cheat so much. And it's like
they're the most promiscuous demographic, and like flight attendants as well.
I actually didn't know that, but that makes sense because they're always going to new locations and stuff. And they're probably around like super high value guys all the time too.
Yeah, they're around like the super high status men, like who have like all the money, the muscles, the jawlines, everything. Status.
I'm trying to think what I was going to talk about. I think like,
Oh,
but yeah, I think that like, I was going to say, so like body count matters, but an underrated thing. Think about more just like the kind of sexual experiences the girl has had. Think about that too.
Yeah, your bedroom game is gonna have to be like super good in order to override the past.
It's also just because like, a lot of like I wouldn't want to be with a girl who has done like degenerate stuff,
Yeah, because then you can't trust like her not to cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it's also
who has
just less purity, just like it shows that they have less self-respect if they allow a guy to do some like weird stuff,
Yeah. I would agree with that. If she's done like all this degenerate stuff, it just shows like.
I mean, it's hard to know what she's actually done, but let's say like she's been on OnlyFans or something like that. That's just that's a big no-no. It just shows low purity.
Yeah. Definitely like if there are videos of her like having sex online, that's a hard no. I think for any long-term relationship.
Yeah, I'd agree. Any former porn stars, OnlyFans models, that's a no. Anyone who's done sugar daddy before, no.
I think, what about a girl who's done like a nude photo shoot? Would you care about that?
It depends on the context.
Yeah, like if she had like an OnlyFans that did it, but let's say it was like for like artistic reasons or something, I don't know.
I mean, it would depend on what she posted, to be fair, so I don't... It's hard for me to say, but it wouldn't...
I think it's just like if there's any sexual like content of her like that you can find online, just like no. It's just a hard no.
Yeah, I'd agree, because like the motive behind it, like taking advantage out of men.
But I think that people, I guess like I think red pillers talk about this too much because they're in certain environments where it's more common, you know?
Yeah,
Like, your average guy is probably not going to accidentally date, like, a porn star.
it's very unlikely. It's like less than 1% of the population.
Yeah.
But I've
it's
noticed like some red pill guys, they are so obsessed with virginity.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's weird because, like, I don't think most of them are, like, genuinely religious, you know? Like, I'm not particularly religious, but I don't act like I care about virginity for some, you know, holy reason, you know?
But why do they love it so much? I just don't understand. Like, they love virginity so much. It's just like, why?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's probably just like, a lot of it's just like signaling, you know, that they care about this stuff. I mean, I don't think, there are probably very few men that like have a hard line. They would only be with a virgin, like,
Yeah,
in
but like,
actuality.
nobody actually says that, let's be honest. Like, if you did, you'd just be alone for the rest of your life.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
Especially
real
past a
talk,
certain
what body
age.
count is too high?
It really depends on the age, obviously, you know? But like, I'd say like, if she's in her early 20s, let's just say like 22. How about that?
Yeah,
Because that's like your age, I guess.
yeah, I'm 22.
I'd say like anything higher than double digits, definitely don't go. Anything higher than 10, definitely.
Yeah, anything
Bad.
higher than 10 is like too high.
Yeah, at 22, think about it. That's like
That's too often
that's
because
too many.
mathematically, if you started like at let's say 16, which a lot of people do, surprisingly, or women especially, right? That means that in
Yeah.
6 years, she's had like 10 sexual partners. That's a lot. Because it shows
Yeah.
that none of them. I will say that there's a bigger red flag than all of this put together is if she's on the dating apps for ages.
Yeah.
Do you want to know
yeah,
why?
Definitely. Because why?
Because it means that no man has claimed her, or she's not serious about finding a man. Because a lot of women and feminists will be like, oh, but bro, what if it's a man on a dating app for ages? But that's different because when a man's on the app for ages, it's because he can't find
He's just
someone.
not getting shit.
Yeah, it's because he's not getting shit. Like, these feminists don't think things through because if you actually use your brain, right? Logically, guys are not getting as many matches, so they're going to be on the app for ages. But women, literally all women, get loads of matches. So if they're on the apps for ages, it either means one, she's not serious about finding a man and just runs it in the background for attention. Two, the guys are not committing to her, right? Which is usually for a good reason. Or three, right? She's on the carousel. So if she's on the app for ages, it means that something must be wrong with her. Would you agree? What? Is everything okay?
Oh, okay. I think I got disconnected for a second.
It got disconnected for a second. Yeah, so did you hear what I said about what it means if she's on the app for ages?
Yeah, I heard that whole I definitely agree with that. There's definitely a red flag if she's on the apps for too long.
Yeah. So I would say that.
I don't know. For most of us, like talking about red flags is like cope, you know. For most of us, you know, because we don't have the access, you know.
Yeah, most guys don't have the access. So obviously, when you think about it logically, right? Most guys can't afford to have a long list of standards because they don't actually have the value for it.
Yeah, it's like I think most guys, they should just if you find a woman like baseline like at least like moderately attractive, then you should go for her. You know, you should just gain as much experience as possible in these early years. Honestly,
100%.
It's the best advice I could possibly give.
You need to learn game. You need to spin plates if possible, and you need to have like options.
So yeah, that's like I guess getting into that. Like I've definitely been putting myself out there somewhat, but like. I don't know. I mean, so you've done, how many cold approaches did you say you did?
16.
So 16, that's a decent number. That's more than I have. I'd say I've done 5 approaches.
And what happened in all those approaches?
So I'll be honest. I think for 2 of them, there were circumstances that made it so that I couldn't have success. So like one of them, like the thing is for me, I counted like I went over this in like my most recent video. I counted one of them as being like one of them. I went up to a girl and I said, "Excuse me," and then she thought I was just trying to get past her or something, and then like that. But I counted that as an approach. You know why?
Why?
Because like because I was going in there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do it. Because that's the part that mattered for me. Like how many times like I went up to a girl, you know, where I was like, okay, I'm gonna turn this into something. So I counted that as an approach, even though technically it didn't go anywhere, you know. So like, and also one of them, I think I went up to a girl and it turned out that she was 15 years old. So
Oh fuck! You know, I had something like this. Like, I think it was like when I went to Japan last year. I did a cold approach, like almost the moment I got there at my local gym, and I chatted her up, and everything was going well. And it turned out she was 16, right? So I just left the interaction because I didn't want to get called. You know what JE has done?
it's funny how we're just using an ATJE, but yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't want to be like associated with that because I remember I poisoned a well when I was in secondary school. Like, I had this online relationship when I was like 16, 15 with this girl who was 14 at the time, right?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and the whole year were cancelling me, and I poisoned the well because in that school, in secondary school, I had bullies because I poisoned the well twice. Once because I asked out this girl despite her being a Muslim wearing a hijab. Yeah, and obviously in that religion, they're not allowed to go out with men who are not Muslim.
But you did nothing wrong, honestly. It's like most of them are not. Like most of them aren't even.
They're not even following the rules anyway.
Yeah.
I was like 14 at the time anyway, and I was going to say I'm going to talk about my dating experiences in my next video, right? I'm going to talk about the time I failed shit tests, the time that, you know, I was acting weird, and the times I got rejected. But like I said, warm approach, if you poison the well, bro, it's over.
Yeah, that's the word. That like, so those are the 2 big problems with like what Weave Waffle said. Like the dynamic, it's not primal attraction, you know.
That's the thing.
Usually,
like, the thing is, I have actually talked to Wheat Waffles before on Instagram.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So like, did you talk to him about that?
Yeah, I did, and he said to me, I'm going to find the messages that I had with Wheat. You see, he's quite an intelligent guy, I think. Wheat is.
I would agree with that, but I mean, I think he's a little bit, you know, dogmatic.
He's dogmatic, and I will say that like he sometimes acts a bit like robotic.
Yeah,
he never wants to blame his own social skills when his dates don't go well. He just says, "Oh, but bro, she was never into me, bro." And I'm thinking maybe it's because of your game. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
that he only got like 6 dates.
Isn't that bad?
Sorry.
I mean, he comes off like I've seen like infield from him. He comes off as like a pretty normal guy, but I think he probably just comes off as like too like boring, stilted.
Yeah, that's exactly it, because he took like 80 messages to set up one date, and I remember I was thinking, yeah, this guy's game isn't that good. Like, I'm not attacking his character or anything. I'm sure he's an okay person. It's just that I think that he puts too much emphasis on looks.
Yeah, he's a genius though. Like he definitely like paved the way for the whole like black pill space.
Yeah, like we have to respect him, man, because like he's one of the main guys of the space. Like Face LMS, Wheat Waffles, now Clavicular.
Yeah, I'd say definitely like
Wheat.
Well, going back to what we were talking about before, like so, like yeah, it's like those are 2 reasons why I'm not super fond of warm approaches. Like, yeah, it's the. You know, it's like not primal attraction. Maybe you're not sure if that's quite true, but I think that's definitely true. And also, just poisoning of the well. That's like a super big problem with these kind of things.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest ones. Poisoning
Like if you
of the
approach
well.
a girl and if there's like a friend group and like you approach a girl, like she's gonna tell everyone if she rejects you, and that's gonna
Yeah,
be
if you get
bad.
rejected in the office, that's it. Everyone's going to find out, and then your reputation's gone in the bin. Like, you can't afford to get rejected in the office. That's the worst thing that you could possibly do to SMV. And I will actually say, I was going to ask you, what do you think Wheat Waffle's face rating is?
6.
6. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Some people say 5, but I'd say 6. I'd say he's slightly above me.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely like in his pictures he looks like a Chad Light. Have you seen like his Tinder pictures?
Yeah, that's why he got like lots of dates online.
Yeah, I think that's something that like playing with fire and stuff and all these like, you know, alpha male pictures guy. They don't talk about the fact that like FaceApp is like at least like 40-50% of like the difference in
You
results.
should get FaceApp, honestly, like
I probably should, yeah. I think I might. I'm gonna use it like very mildly, I think.
use it only costs like £30 a year or like £7 a month. Just use the handsome filter level 2 or use the star filter. It will only change your face like a little bit.
Yeah.
And then watch your results go up.
Like, yeah, and the factor is like you don't want to like as long as you look like reasonably close. I think it's not the hugest issue in real life. Like you want to do like a point higher, but like if it's like 2 or more points, the girl's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" You know? It's
Yeah,
like,
you should only exaggerate by like a
when
point.
that girl came on the date before.
You should only exaggerate like a point. Because I actually,
yeah.
I was gonna say you thought my photos was alpha photo shoot.
I mean, not really alpha, but like high value man kind of aesthetic, you know, like the physique, you know, like the food, you know.
Yeah, the high value man photo shoot. It's always funny.
I mean, yeah, it's the whole aesthetic at this point. It's like the high value man aesthetic, you know.
Yeah, it's the high value man. It's such a funny phrase because everybody says it.
Yeah, but like, so can we talk a bit more about like approaching and stuff? And the challenge, remember I had?
Yeah, we should talk about that.
So like to sum it up, yeah. So like I had 5 approaches. 2 of them, there were weird circumstances that made it not really fair for me because the girl, like one of them, the girl was too young. One of them, like the girl just thought I was trying to like get past her or something. So like, but 3 of those were just like clean rejections, you know, just like I just got rejected, you know. And it's like, I don't know. So like I did low volume. So like that's probably about what like you wouldn't expect to get like results from like 5 approaches where 2 of them there were things that made it so that like things couldn't really even happen, you know.
Yeah, I'd say that cold approach is like a hard one because it requires like many variables to fall into place. But I would say that there is a method called semi-cold approach, which is like going to social events, but then I feel like that kind of feels silly because it's like you're doing things you wouldn't normally do just for the sole purpose of getting girls. So I would say that cold approach is
you gotta
high.
do what you have to do, you know. Like don't even think about if any of your strategy is cringe. Just do.
Actually, yeah, you know, you're right. I feel like you should just drop your ego and do it. But I have a strategy. Like I was worried it sounded cringe, but then like we said, if you have that mentality enough, you're just gonna stay like single.
Just tell me what you do. Yeah.
Should I tell you? It sounds so silly, but like, I'm gonna drop my ego and do it because like the past few weeks I was thinking, can I really be bothered doing these hobbies, even though I don't normally do them? But I'm thinking like, you know what? Just drop your ego and do it. I'll tell you. So it's like, look up social events that like lots of women are going to, like language exchange or like whatever it might be, yoga even, just do whatever it takes, right? And then
there's a word for this.
Yeah, but then like don't like hit on every girl, obviously, but like just go to the event, maybe talk to like 1 or 2 girls, right? Then just keep going to different ones, and then eventually you'll build pre-selection.
Yeah. Oh yeah, your strategy is about building pre-selection. Okay, interesting. I can't say I use pre-selection at all. I mean, do you actually have personal experience with this, or is it just more like theoretical?
It's theoretical because like I'm more of a cold approach and dating app guy, but I feel like this might be my new strategy.
Yeah. So I think as far as that goes, I think there's a like semi-cold approach. You said I would agree that it's kind of like a cold approach because like you're going in and it's not like these are people that you actually knew beforehand, but like also it's kind of more of just like a social atmosphere. Kind of, would you say that like approaching a girl in like your college class is kind of the same category?
Nah, I would say that it's still warm approach because like you're gonna see each other a lot, but in this one you're not. It's a one-time event, so you can use it as like pre-selection. Then like it will actually be sick because like let's say like for the event everybody takes a photo, and if there's photos of you with other women, right? It's going to create a domino effect, and then like they're going to be even more attracted to you.
Oh, okay. So that's like the Michael Sartain thing.
Michael Sartain, yeah. That's like a...
Yeah, honestly, I can't say. The thing is, I think that it's kind of the whole pre-selection thing is kind of like a fantasy for most guys because it's like most guys, like most guys, like if they try the social circle thing, they're just going to become like, like a beta kind of. Get beta-tized,
Yeah, but I will say that, do you know a guy called Logan Duong? He does pre-selection.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really just more of like a like I care more about just like approaching in like apps, I guess.
Fair enough.
I mean, I guess like your I guess like that sounds like it could work though. I mean, I think you should try everything.
I'm going to try everything. I'm going to do pre-selection next time and see if it works.
But like maybe get like a bit more. Like I think I would try pre-selection, but I get a bit more experience. Like I definitely want to have like a few like hookups and stuff, or maybe like a girlfriend before I try it.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing now, and then like just see how I can scale my attraction. So I feel like we'll wrap up soon, but I feel like I just wanted to do a couple more talking points. So there must be something that we're missing.
We can go on, for as long as you want. Honestly, this is a fun discussion. But
it's only because like it's getting late at night for me, so I feel like.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. So like I wanted to cover like, just like approaching like I'm telling. So like I guess for cold approach, I haven't done enough volume yet. And the reason for that is because I have approach anxiety,
Yeah, same here.
Like, what's your experience
let's be honest. I have approach anxiety too.
Yeah, I mean, like, pretty much like every guy starting out, every single guy has a shit ton of approach anxiety, and it's like there's an evolutionary reason for that because it's like, if you just like mess up an approach in like a tribe or whatever, like her dad or like her brother's gonna like behead you or something like that,
yeah,
like stab you with a spear.
Because it's a huge risk. Let's be honest. Like, if you approach and it backfires, like, what if the boyfriend comes and gives you a knuckle sandwich in it? Like this controlling protector boyfriend comes out.
I mean, you haven't had that yet, right?
No, I haven't. But I have nearly approached a girl that was taken by accident.
I think that cold approach isn't really risky.
It's not that risky, but I mean, have you ever? Do you know anybody who's a controlling protector?
Well, I've had like I think when I was like a freshman in high school, I had like this guy who was older. Freshman, that's American. Like I was ninth grade. I was like 14. I was like there was this like older guy. I think he was like he was like about to graduate or whatever, and like he got pissed because like his girlfriend like complimented me or whatever. So like I definitely have experienced that. Yeah.
Controlling protector.
But like there's no actual. Let's be real here. There's no tangible risk to approaching. It's more just about it. It hurts when you get rejected, especially a bad rejection.
Yeah, you're right. It's more like you actually get pain when they reject you because the rejections sting a lot more in real life.
Yeah,
whereas like online,
I didn't
you
think
can
about
just
it like
laugh
that,
it off
yeah.
and forget it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've gotten to like the last ever approach I did. It was the first time I had a bad rejection. The other times I was rejected, I didn't really care that much. It was like they were like decent enough interactions, but like I had this story where like the girl like I guess she got uncomfortable. I guess I could go into the story. It's like I was like walking on like a trail, and it wasn't like in like a forest or whatever. It was more just like an asphalt kind of like trail that like in like a city,
Yeah,
do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
Kind of like we're like a bike trail.
yeah. I know exactly what you mean because I was going to tell you about the time that I got a real brutal rejection. Right. So when I was in
Okay.
Japan, there's this what's it called? There's this like beef bowl which is like gyudon. It's like beef on rice, and it's like a
Yeah.
kind of fast food place called Skia. I asked out. I tried to talk to this girl when she was walking in and ordering her food. She ignored me in front of everyone. I was so embarrassed,
Oh, damn.
and I was reciting
So,
like Hamza's confidence techniques to try and like calm myself down.
Was this a few years ago?
It was early last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, are you a fan of Hamza, or were you?
Yeah, I quite like him, but sometimes I think like he overestimates like how much control guys have in the dating market.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he's like I'm not a huge fan, but like I think that he gets a little too much criticism because like I feel like if you followed his basic advice, it's just like red pill. If you followed it, like you probably see some improvement. It's
Yeah,
not like
that's
he's
why I
giving
think
bad
he's quite
advice.
good.
Yeah, it's like, but like I was just gonna say like yeah, I mean getting rejected in front of others, yeah, that's pretty brutal. Yeah, I mean, but like yeah, I was walking on like this, I was walking. And there's this girl, and like so since I had approach anxiety, do you ever experience it where it's like you hesitate to approach?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, so like I was taking like several minutes to actually like open this girl. So like I was like kind of walking like behind her, not like in that way, but I was like maybe like I don't know like 20 feet behind her, and I was just working up the courage. So like eventually I just started walking faster to where we were kind of like across from each other, and like I think
Yeah.
what I said, like the opener I used was like, "Hey, can I say something?" And then she was like, "What?" And I just said like, I don't know, I just said what came to mind. I said, "I think you're gorgeous," and then she just got uncomfortable and started walking.
Yeah, you shouldn't
the other
compliment right
direction.
away because the approach I did that led to 2 dates in February, I was just like, oh, excuse me, which vase is your favourite? Because we were in like the museum. I don't know if it was a vase or whatever it was. I was like, oh, which piece of art is your favourite? And then we started a conversation. And you want to know what was the best thing? I literally picked her
What?
up on the spot. Like, I was in that museum. We started talking.
Like an insta date is what it's called, right?
It's an instant date. So it was like, I was talking to her in a museum and then it became a date on the spot. So that means I literally skipped, right, the text to date part because I literally talked her into a date.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
innit?
Yeah, that's definitely like I hear them like pickup guys talk about that all the time, like an insta date. It's like it's supposed to be something that comes like along later in your game journey. But I guess
Insta-date.
you did it earlier.
Yeah,
That's good.
that
I
was
guess like
on the spot
think-
pickup.
yeah, I definitely agree that complimenting. I used to think that direct openers and stuff were better, but I think indirect is probably slightly better. Like when you go direct, it's like mostly she's gonna like choose based on looks, and if you're not like 100% her type, she's just probably gonna say no.
Yeah, because she was literally giving me like choosing signals, right? Because I remember she was actually texting me a lot of choosing signals. And I remember like if I checked the messages, I was getting a lot of compliments, especially towards the end.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's a good sign, definitely. I'd say like so. I think for me the problem was part of it was probably just the delivery. Like it probably came off as kind of like more perverted, like based on the tone of voice than I thought it was. Like I was just complimenting, like, "Oh, you're gorgeous." Like she probably thought that I was like thinking some like nefarious things.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I
So
will
like I
say,
creeped her out, but it was like it's like rejection, like bad rejections are not rare like people say they are.
No, they're
sometimes,
actually quite common. Like, the worst rejection I had is definitely the one I told you about just now.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a lot of girls, like, it's just a difference in mentality, especially within like the past, like, I don't know, like it's just been gotten worse even within the past like 10 years probably, It's like, I mean, I wasn't trying to date back then, but it's like people were like, women, are more standoffish, a little bit more closed off. They're suspicious of men by default now, kind of.
Yeah, I was rejected so harshly because it's like the worst part of all of it was I was ignored straight up on the spot.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I haven't had that yet, which, I mean, if I just get ignored, like, when the girl 100% hears you, that's kind of brutal, yeah.
Yeah, it was in front of everyone, but like it was straight after a football match as well because I was playing football, right? And I got rejected like straight after the match, and then I was like, "Oh, bro."
Did you at least win the match?
I can't even remember now, but I think I played quite well that game.
Oh, so it just like ruined your good mood?
Yeah, no, so it wasn't like a definite match, but it was like we were playing like it was like kind of futsal. We were playing like five-a-side. We were playing together, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember I played pretty well that day, but then my day got ruined because of that rejection.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly the bad rejection I had kind of made me quit cold approach.
Yeah,
like, and I still haven't done like a proper cold approach since then, honestly.
After that, I quit cold approach for a while. Then I started doing it again, and then I remember.
Yeah, I want to start it again.
I chatted up this blonde girl at the bar in June 2025 in Japan, and then I remember we were texting, but then she started flaking on me.
Yeah.
I will say. I
mean,
Yeah, go on.
Like I've done some other, like, besides cold approach, I've done some other approaches, like you know what, like, kind of like what a college orientation is? Do you know what that is?
What is it?
Well, it's like kind of like, you just like go and see what all the classes and stuff are about, or you just like tour kind of the campus, the college, the university.
Oh yeah, what about that?
So like this girl was giving me like a bunch of like choosing signals. Like she was constantly like staring at me the whole time, the whole day. And like when she was about to leave, like I decided, I got the courage. I walked up to her and I was kind of like, she was receptive, and I got her number, but like I think I just came off as a bit too nervous, and like I left the interaction early because like my anxiety was getting to me. But like I got her number, she just like never responded. So.
Yeah, numbers don't really mean anything these days because they usually just fall off straight after you give it.
Yeah. Like half of the, like, would you say it's accurate? Like half of the time they don't even respond.
Yeah, they don't even respond to your first message.
Yeah, that's probably about what happened. Like, so what do you think about, like, I think I was, I had this like strategy, this self-improvement routine challenge, thing where it was like I'm starting a conversation with a new girl every single day on my college campus.
Yeah, this is really good for you. It's really good for you to train it like a muscle.
Yeah, and definitely. And like, I think that, so like I noticed I hesitate a lot less when opening now. So like, I think I'm just trying to practice like opening a conversation. This is kind of my strategy where it's like, I think opening is the hardest part. Like getting up there is the most scary
Agreed, it's
part,
so
right?
hard, but then when you start talking, it's a lot easier than you think.
So like, I just want to train myself. Yeah, definitely. Like, I just want to train myself to do that part. And then after that, everything else will be easier. That's the mentality I'm trying to use. I'm trying to just get better at just like starting a conversation,
Yeah, I totally agree. It's really vital to learn social skills.
So like, I guess you suffer from approach anxiety, but you've done more approaches than I have. So like, what have you, like, what strategies have you used to kind of get over the approach anxiety, to do as many approaches as you have done?
So the way I did it was, a lot of the approaches I did were in events, some of them, but then for the others, I was just trying to I didn't let my negative voice win, and I just went up to the women confidently. But I feel that I struggle quite a lot if it's on the street, but if it's in like a museum, then it's a lot easier. Fun fact, my first ever date was with a cashier.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cashier I told you about, the one that was flaking, but then we went on a date eventually.
Yeah. So are there any like specific mindsets you have going in? Like any specific like things you tell yourself, you know?
Specific things I tell myself.
Yeah. Just to make it easier, you know?
That's a really good question. I would say that I tell myself that pain is temporary. So, the pain of rejection, the pain of like having insult situations, it's always going to be temporary as long as like you're not in a really, really disadvantaged spot. Because I don't think that like being a true sell is relatively rare, because I feel like if you lowered your standards enough, and obviously I'm not saying you should do this, but you tolerated like a beta provider relationship, then I feel like it's possible for almost anybody. But I would argue that like to actually have like proper genuine desire, I would say the bar is very high. And I'm talking like...
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But
like
I would say... I would say that we are high enough for it though.
Yeah, I think we have the right mindset for it. You know, a lot of guys just don't have the right mentality to where they don't think they can improve. They don't think they don't see the inherent value in themselves that they're worth something, even though they're not where they can be yet, you know?
Yeah. But I will say the thing I struggled with Red Pill was that I have this friend who's like, I showed you the photo of like the 6.5, right?
Yeah.
He was telling me that it shouldn't be that hard, and that like I didn't need to do all this extra stuff. But I don't think he understands that he has it easy. Like he doesn't have to do alpha photo shoots. But people like us, we have to.
Yeah, if we want to get some consistency, we gotta.
Because we're not at that level, let's be honest. Like, he can tell me that, he said to me, but never settle for less than high interest with a premium woman. But let's be honest, how often is that going to really happen?
Yeah, I mean, I just, honestly, like, it's kind of like the red pill, like, everyone, the red pill, like, I'm sure you, like, I think you were talking about this before. They always exaggerate the results, you know?
Yeah, because it's like, the guy was saying to me, right? The guy was saying all this silly stuff, like, it's not silly, because I feel like he has some good advice. He was saying to me, never settle for less than high interest from the most attractive women. But how often is that really going to happen?
Yeah.
Can we be honest? How often is it actually going to happen?
Like high interest from an attractive woman, almost never.
Right. Almost never, exactly. How often?
So like,
never.
Sorry, what?
It's pretty much going to be almost never.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's like, I feel like, so the main thing as far as like coaching or teaching guys like red pill stuff, like the main goal I think should be to get guys, you know, who aren't going on dates or who aren't getting some consistency. Because like, I feel like the highest like difference in quality of life is getting no girls versus getting some girls that are like, you know, maybe like average looking, but like you're attracted to them, you have a good connection. Like for average guys, that's basically all they want, you know?
That's all they want, just an average
coaching should be more just about that.
An average looking girl,
like, do you agree?
Just like, yeah, an average looking girl who will give you high interest is definitely enough.
Yeah. It's like, I don't, like...
The thing is, though, what do you consider average? That's the question.
I mean, probably just like average for like a young girl. You know, if we're talking about like the average woman is not attractive at all. But like if you're a young, like guy who isn't obese, then you should be able to expect like a decent girl, you know?
The girls I sent you, what would you reckon?
Like their rating?
Yeah, approximately. Because like I feel like trying to agree on who's average is like asking chefs what the perfect spice level is.
I'd say like, I mean, all the girls you sent me are probably average in like a broad sense of the word. I'd say like the first girl you sent me, like the Asian girl, she's probably the most attractive. Probably.
I'd agree.
And then like the white girl, I mean, I guess white girls probably like by default have a bit more SMV than other races. Like the race pill applies to them too, I think.
But I feel like
you know?
Asian girls are like top for me.
Yeah, that makes sense because that's like, like that, like people tend to like their own pheno,
Yeah.
But like I'd say, yeah, the Asian girl is definitely like attractive. She's definitely like a 6.
The first one's 6, and then 5.
5, and then the last one I'd say is also like I can't really tell, maybe like a 5.5. Yeah, I'd say. Like, do you notice the Asian girls you attract are more attractive than the white girls you attract?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's like the white girls, like most white girls don't, like their first choice is not like an Asian guy. But half Asian, maybe that makes the impact a little less for you.
Yeah, they usually choose like white or black guys.
Yeah, like, but it's usually the Dujis that choose the black guys.
Absolutely, no doubt. What about this one?
Well, those girls all, like, are those, is that the same girl?
Person.
I mean, she's definitely attractive. I'd give her like a 6.5.
6.5, yeah, I'd agree. But I would say,
I don't know, I'd say like definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like I have definitely more leverage when I'm talking to an ethnic woman than I do with a white woman, because like if you're white, you kind of have some value, going
very
in
rarely
by default.
match with white women. It's almost never that I match with white women.
I'd say I mostly match with white women. That's just because like that's probably who I like,
pill,
know.
It's the race pill. I was
But
gonna
yeah,
ask,
I mean, if you like Asian women, it's not that brutal,
I know,
If you're
I
just
like
Asian,
them. Like
and you
they're
Asian.
very attractive. I think I will probably get dating success soon.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think that we should definitely keep in contact, kind of trade notes a little bit. This has been a good discussion.
It's been a brilliant discussion, honestly, and I feel like I'm going to wrap up with like a final thing, right? I want to talk about your video.
Oh, which video?
Dating Marking 2026.
Oh, you watched that?
Yeah, you were talking about
it's like
social
30 minutes
circle,
long, dude.
lack of genuine desire. Sorry?
Oh, yeah. Just tell me about it. What's like, do you have like a contention there?
I would say you saying pickup artistry is the best method, and I agreed because you said that as long as you're not below a 4 out of 10 SMV, that you can be a pickup artist. And then you said that like looks maxing has some ROI, but it's unlikely to fix your dating life if you're at least average.
Yeah.
And you also said
exactly
that men should wake up and raise standards, and you said returning the patriarchs, but I still don't think that would work.
Oh, so you mean so when you say turning the patriarchs, what do you mean by that?
Like, as you talked about feminism, right?
Yeah.
And you said that, like, it's a negative thing.
Definitely, yeah. Would you agree that feminism has hurt dating?
Yes, but not the first wave. I would say the second and third waves.
I would agree, yeah. The second wave I say the second wave did the most damage,
Yeah. Because you said have fun and settle down means have situationships with chads in your teens and 20s and then marry a stable beta in the 30s.
I mean, that's just like textbook red pill, right?
Wheat Waffle said himself that, like, when a woman is 30, the average age of marriage is always correlated with the average age of leaving the family home. Because it means that she can no longer live on her parents' money. So she has to find a beta provider to move out.
Well, they don't have to anymore.
Well, not have to, but usually they can't live at home forever, so then they end up like finding a beta provider.
Did you agree? Did you agree with most of what I said in that video? Or wait, did you? So like, you think that? I think my argument isn't really that we should go back to like a super like, you know, a system where women can't work. I don't think that would really work.
No,
at this point.
Work. I agree.
I just think it's more just about like guys just waking up and raising their standards, and also just like, I don't know. I mean, I also think that male promiscuity is a little under talked about. I think that male promiscuity is a huge reason why we have the problems we have. You know?
Yeah, it's causing problems. Like the small percentage of men at the top are having most of the casual sex, right?
Yeah, it's like if every top 5% guy decided to just pick one woman and stay with her, I think that would honestly like fix like most of the problems in the dating market. I'll be honest.
Absolutely, it would fix like a large problem, because then guys at the top wouldn't monopolize, and that would give room for like the bottom 90%ers.
Yeah.
And I actually had another comment.
Sure.
Another really important comment I had was what you said about marrying a beta in the 30s and like sleeping with alphas in the 20s. Do you see that happen a lot?
You know, I'll be honest. Like I'm not that age. So, but like I think that, so it's hard to say, because like I'm not sure if that's how it's going to go down with Gen Z, with people our age, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like with people that are currently in their 30s, 40s, 50s, that's definitely the dynamic I say. But I'm not sure if it's going to continue down that direction.
Or do you mean you see like the woman settling with the chubby beta provider after she's had
definitely. Definitely, yeah. And like I'm imagining like
having
Sorry,
fun.
what?
They always like talking about how girls have fun in their 20s.
Like girls have fun in their 20s?
Yeah. With all like the highest value men, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm finding myself," and then
yeah.
Then like she settles for the beta.
Yeah.
Why is it so hilarious when they say they're finding themselves?
Because it's like the most vague terminology you could use for like basically getting drilled. It's like, you know?
Yeah, it's so obvious that they're getting drilled.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say my favorite video from you, let's think, I think it's the do looks matter after you get the girl. I think that was a really good breakdown, kind of debunking of like the black pill, I think.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I think you showed the reasons why relationships end, right? And like you kind of listed off what each of them was, right?
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Like, that's a video I really enjoyed making. And I've been growing in subscribers recently too.
Yeah, I can see your channel definitely growing a lot more. I mean, you have some like, you know, you have like like a good presentation, you know, good ideas. Yeah, definitely going to grow.
Yeah, because it's like I have 59 subscribers now, which is
that's.
I had 35 when we first met.
Damn. So like, how have you gained so many? I guess
because that clavicular video.
Oh yeah, because it has like 1,000 views or more.
Yeah, and I jumped from like 35 to like 50 subscribers. No, like 52, and then I jumped like an extra 7 from the last video. And in this live, I gained a subscriber already, so I'm on 59. I was on 58.
Let me see if I gained any. Okay, I don't think I gained any. I probably will. I mean, you know, from your audience, I'm sure some of them are going to come back and watch this.
I think they're going to watch this like later today.
Yeah. Do you know if most of your subscribers are from the UK, or like have you looked at that?
Yeah, I've looked at the analytics. Most are from the UK, but some are from the US. So, yeah, 21% UK, 15% USA, 5% India.
I don't know why, like, do you know why you get more people from the UK? Because it's like, does it really matter if the person's from, like, what country they're from, as long as the content's good?
Yeah, but I
don't
like
know.
having the
Like,
data, I suppose. It's good to have the data.
Yeah. Like, I'd say most people for me are from the US, like 50%. And then, like, the next largest is Poland. So I don't know. It might just be a small sample size.
USA and Poland.
Yeah, they love me in Poland. I don't know why.
India, they love me in India.
They do?
Yeah. How many percent
Oh,
men
damn.
are your viewers?
100%.
Is it actually?
Literally just, what, for you it's probably like 99.6 or something.
No, it's 66% men, 33% women.
No way, that's not true. That's bullshit.
It
There's
is.
no way.
It is.
How is that possible? I don't understand how that makes sense.
Does yours say 100%?
Because like it literally says 100% male for me. I don't know how that's possible. Like,
have a look.
Like, honestly, if I had to guess, I'm not 100% sure if even a single woman has clicked on one of my videos before.
But in my one, like, some women watch it.
It's probably your shorts that's just like they just scroll and see your shorts.
That's what I think.
From like your actual content.
Because women don't need pickup artists. Because they're the ones that get picked up.
Yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't ask a fish how to catch a fish.
Exactly, like, you can't ask a fish how to be caught. Like, you have to ask a fisherman.
Yeah. Definitely. So yeah, I think it's about time we end off.
It's about time we wrap up now, yeah. Just one last question. What's your next video going to be?
I don't know. Honestly, I just make them like as they come, you know? I don't really have like it planned yet, but I'm sure it'll come out soon.
Yeah, I've listed all my plans. So I've planned everything. I have a list of all my different content ideas. You just wing it, right?
Yeah, mostly. I mean, I probably have a few written down, but like I just abandoned them when I don't really like them that much, you know?
My next one's going to be about shit tests, passing shit tests.
That's a good one. Have you seen YBC 2 Cold's video about shit tests?
Yeah, I think so. Was it a tier list one, or was it just general shit tests? It was a tier list.
It was a tier list. I think you should watch that, actually. Just see if like you can kind of like see if you can disagree with some of his points, I guess, or build off of them.
I'm going to watch him talk about shit tests. But in honesty, thank you for joining my live stream. It was a really brilliant chat that we had.
Yeah, and thanks for having me on. Honestly, I'm really glad we did this. I think this was probably the most fun I've had, like, making content, honestly, ever. So,
same. This is the best thing I've ever done, making content. This is the most fun podcast we've had.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. So, I don't know. Maybe we could do this again sometime.
Yeah, we should definitely do this again sometime. Like, when I've grown a few more followers, subscribers, then we can actually have more people watch it.
Yeah, like you could have like a whole like podcast series. That would be pretty good.
We should do a series. We should do this again, definitely, because like
we should
actually like do this again, so that then like we can do this when we have more subscribers.
Also, I'd like to hear from you how I can kind of increase the production value of my videos. That's definitely something I'd like to work on.
Yeah, well, I'll message you like my content strategy, and then like we can discuss something together.
Oh yeah, and I've also. So, what are your plans as far as coaching go? Like, are you going to become a coach, like at some point, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking of becoming a coach, but I might actually do this. I'm considering day coaching, right? But more than one-to-one coaching, I might just start like a school community.
Yeah, but do you feel like you might have to like get some more results before you feel qualified to do that?
I can't be a coach if I don't have enough results, but if I don't get to the level of a coach, I could, like I said, do school community, ebooks.
Yeah, just like some low ticket thing, right? It's like not charging people thousands for, some bullshit.
No, some low ticket school community, Patreon,
ebooks. That's my plan. Like my school.
Yeah,
community,
that's good.
where
You
I
know,
could talk
I think you're
about,
gonna
like,
attract more people that way.
Yeah, I could talk about like deep dynamics on school.
Yeah, it's like if I could, honestly, I'm thinking about joining some sort of like program like that. I wouldn't join one that's like super expensive because I just don't have the finances for it. But like, yeah, I mean, paying for coaching is definitely reasonable. But like, yeah, with certain parameters, of course.
Yeah, I'd agree because like I feel
But
like
yeah,
paying for coaching can actually be a very positive thing. But I would say that as a general rule, I don't. If it's too high ticket, then maybe it's not a good idea if you're not financially stable. But when you become financially stable, then I think it might be a good idea to consider high ticket coaching. Wolf
yeah,
is
yeah,
against
yeah,
dating
definitely.
coaching, but then again, like I think dating coaching could actually be a good thing for you. But it really
Yeah, just
depends.
get rid of your ego. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
get
like
rid of your
if you need
ego.
help,
Having an
if
ego
you need
won't
help,
help.
get help.
Yeah, if you need
Yeah,
help,
yeah.
get it. But I would say before that, you should try the alpha photo shoot. Like, do the high value man photos, like I did.
Oh, you're giving me advice. Yeah, I definitely will get some better pictures. Yeah.
I'll send you some more like high value man photos of other people, so that you roughly know like what photos to take.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I think we should probably finally end it here. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we can end it here.
definitely.
Thank you so much, man. Cheers. Brilliant to speak to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone who has
Thanks for
tuned in
watching,
so
everyone.
far.
Yeah, and for those of you who didn't catch us live, you can catch us like on demand, so you can watch the recorded version.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
See
thanks-
you again next time.
thanks for having
We'll
me.
keep in touch on DMs, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye for now.